All right, everybody, welcome back to WEEZCAST. This is going to be side B of the Red album. We're going to hop right back into it with Dreaming. The thing that I got out of this song primarily was it's like his struggle between growing up and wanting to stay young and irresponsible. It's probably my least favorite song on the album, but not because it's bad, just because I like the other songs more. And I appreciate the variance in it. I think aside from The Greatest Man That Ever Lived, it has the most musical variance in it. It kind of like jumps around a little bit and has that nice outro to it. Lots of like nice harmonies and stuff. So yeah, like I think it's a really neat song, but it's not one I would listen to all the time or anything.
Yep, I wouldn't listen to it all the time either, but I do like it quite a bit. I like it's very carefree. Unlike the other songs that seem more like purposeful, like intentionally rebellious, this one's more like I'm just doing my own thing and I'm just dreaming, just chilling. Like it's super chill. Um, I like that usually if a song is fast and then it switches and goes slow or vice versa, I don't like that very much when it like there's a dramatic shift in the style halfway through. But in this song, I actually do like it, and I think like both parts sound really good. So, yeah, um, but like it's still like just not. I don't know. There's nothing really significant about this song that makes me want to listen to it again, other than like it sounds pretty good. It's really chill. Like I enjoyed it, but I don't know.
It's not one that you would skip, but it's not one you'd put on either.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's just there.
So fun vibe. I found it interesting how instead of an extra part of Weezer's vocals, they added Scott Schreiner. I think it was. Was it Scott Schreiner?
I think it was Pat, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Um, the guitar strum in the bridge is a little weird. It's a nice, decent song though. Like it's not awful. Just like you guys said, it's more of a background song. And I just want to say one more thing. It says, "And the angels in the heavens, they are wondering why I'm so glad." And he already said it. It's hash pipe.
he's so glad it all comes back to hash pipe.
He hasn't even realized it himself. Anyways, it has a cool closing.
Okay, Spencer.
The childlike nature of this song, plenty of it is like this childlike wonderment that he seems to possess, and I relate to that. Like I'm definitely a grown-up big kid like kind of thing where I collect action figures, so when he says things like pick up my toys, I kind of think of those elements of who I am and stuff. But overall, I don't dislike this song by any means. It's probably right in the middle of, if I was to rank every song on the album, it'd probably be right in the middle, which it kind of coincidentally is on the track list anyway. The section like Daddy says, I got to pay some bills so I can learn to be responsible. Like nobody likes having to grow up and having to do those types of things. So I do appreciate the, what's the word I want to use? Like the hardcore magnetism, like it's like you're clinging to aspects of your childhood. And I think that's important to do in life, where you're like, you don't want to grow up and just be this boring adult with a suit and a tie, marrying a biatch, having 7 kids, all that stuff. So it's like, that's what this song says to me, is like, keep dreaming. It also reminds me a little bit of the Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog, which of course they have covered. It's not on any album specifically. It's on an album that's coincidentally called the Green Album, but it was all covers of Muppet songs. And I think they did that with Haley Williams, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it kind of has like a Kermit the Frog like kind of vibe, especially he's talking about like the bluebirds and different things. It sounds very Kermit to me in a way, which is again very childlike. So those are the elements I appreciate about this one.
Cool. I thought I knew a good transition to the next song, but I don't. So here we go. So I will say something that I don't think, I'm guessing Spencer probably knows, and I know this. I don't think you guys probably knew this ahead of time, but it's actually Brian who wrote this song and who sings it. which is kind of neat that that he got a turn to be in the limelight. And
Who's Brian?
Is he the bass player?
Brian is the guitar player. Like Rivers and him both play guitar.
I figured it was him.
So he wrote this song. I think it's like a solid like post breakup song. I love the acoustic guitar in it and how even how the other instruments kind of flow with it. It's just like a really well structured song that I thoroughly enjoy. I never used to know like why it sounded different. Back when I was much less familiar with Weezer, I was like, oh, he sounds weird in this song. Maybe he had a cold when he recorded it. But that's kind of dumb in hindsight. Steven, what do you think?
Yeah, I did not know that this was someone else doing it, and I did take note that I didn't like his voice. But I do like the song. I feel like the way that it's written, both lyrically and musically, I really enjoy. Like the words, he's talking about how she's kind of the one that broke his heart, and like he kind of alludes to that, like she was the problem in the relationship, and yet most of the song he's apologizing for whatever he did wrong. So I like that he's like kind of taking responsibility and saying like in every relationship, you know, there's always two parts, and like there's things that I need to apologize for as well. So he's kind of like just taking ownership and apologizing for all of his faults, and yet at the same time saying like, you know, like I'm sorry, but you're the one that left me, and like that's kind of how the song goes, at least as far as I remember. And I like how it is musically a lot. I think that if it was done a bit differently, like maybe with different instruments and with a different singer, then this one would be one of my favorites.
Kind of rude, but okay.
Well, not really.
That's fine.
A lot of positive things
Everyone's
to say.
entitled to their opinion, unless it's about the Green Album. Caleb?
My first thought of this was, why not Rivers singing this? It's supposed to be Weezer, so I mean you can change it up a little bit, but I think that Rivers could have done a better job. I like the synth; it fits well. I find. I like the lyrics. But going back to the synth, it has a certain melody to it, and I get this ad on YouTube that has that same synth.
Oh, really?
And I always thought, where do I recognize that?
And now you figured
And
it out?
yeah, it's this. But yeah, it's. I have nothing against the song. I think it's pretty good.
Cool. Spencer?
For a song that's message is extremely relatable to me, because I've had 7 breakups in my life, this is my least favorite song on the album. Huge reason, which has already been touched on by almost everyone, is that it's not Rivers' voice, which I would prefer. I don't think that the song was sung badly. There's just something about Rivers' voice that does a lot more for me emotionally, and all of those types of things. I'm a sucker for a good breakup song. Like, I have a whole playlist of breakup songs. But this one wouldn't even be on the playlist of that.
Wow.
Yeah, not a huge fan of this one. This is where the album takes a little bit of a dip for me. Again, it's still relatable, so it still feels like it was written about me. But yeah, just not a big fan of this one overall.
Okay.
Sorry to say.
That is fair. And I mean, there's no sound that I like more than Rivers' voice, so I do agree that it would probably be better if he sang it. But I think that's nice they gave him a chance to, he wrote it and that he got to sing it on the album. I think that's kind of cool, but I think maybe that's why they didn't do that again. But all right, Cold Dark World. It's eerie, it's weird, the vibe of it, but overall I do love it. I just don't like the one line in it.
I just want to say, my review for this is that this is a cold, dark world. Gives me like trucker vibes.
Trucker?
Yeah, like if you're a trucker and like they have that certain like rock style, and in the beginning like the guitar gave me that idea. Anyways, I'm confused. Is it talking about Rivers like a little girl?
No. He's not literally talking about a little girl.
Okay, because I thought it was saying I thought he was saying that he was a pedo.
It does sound that way.
Yeah, it initially does, but then
we assume that that's not what he means.
at least she's alive.
And
For
not
now.
dead.
Yeesh.
On that note, this is an extremely creepy song.
Mm-hmm.
He starts by saying, "I can watch little girl from the back of my car." So I'm wondering why he's sitting in the back of his car. Like, it sounds like he's
Staring at-
specifically there to watch her. And he's, like, fantasizing about her. Asking to give her a ride. And so that he can console her and give her a kiss.
Let me guess, he wants pork
So,
and
like-
beans as well?
Like what Caleb said, it sounds like he's a pedophile. Trying to convince a little girl to get in his car with him so he can give her a kiss. Like, it's just really, really creepy. And of course we give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, it's not actually a little girl, it's a woman who is of age, and yet it's still creepy. And then in the second or third verse, after the chorus, he's kind of tries to justify himself, saying, "I know you're thinking I'm trying to score, but deep in your heart you know that I'm more." And then, so he's saying this, it's like, okay, so he's not being creepy, but I mean, isn't that what a creepy person would say, like, trying to cover up? So the more the song goes on, the more I just feel like the whole thing is awful, except I think the chorus sounds amazing, and I love the chorus. But other than that, like, everything else is awful. Oh, and the line that Aiden hates. He says, "I'll be here to sex you." What? That's so weird. Why would you say it like that?
But I'm not a creep.
Like,
That's not what I'm here for, bud.
yeah, he says, "I will protect you, never disrespect you, but if you need love, then I'll be here to sex you." Now, okay. Yeah, it's just really weird and just really creepy all the way through. So, but the chorus, again, I love the chorus. I would put this song on and listen to it again just for the chorus, because it is very good.
All right, Spencer.
There's that one aspect to this that kind of makes you scratch your head, where you're like, excuse me, little girl. Like, you know. Another one of my favorite bands of all time is called Oingo Boingo, and on their first track on their first album is literally called Little Girls, and they sing, like, straight up, "Oh, I love little girls, they make me feel so good." And I'm like, all right, that's definitely not one of my favorite songs, but no way. And then there's the very popular song by The Police called Every Breath You Take, which a lot of millennials say, like, oh, that's a creepy song, because he says, "I'll be watching you." And I think Rivers pulls from a lot of his 80s singer-songwriter inspiration too, and I think that there might be a small dose of that in this, so it feels a little bit like an homage to that era, but I don't disagree that it sounds kind of, pedophilic or a little bit odd. But when I remove those elements, I thoroughly enjoy the message of this. As someone who is extremely, I'm an extremely empathetic person, as well as I have a lot of, I'll use this term if I may, and I don't mean it to sound inappropriate. I would identify as demisexual, which means I cannot have physical relations with someone unless I truly love that person. And that's just important to me. I don't sleep around, and I get that vibe from Rivers too, but sometimes he contradicts himself in other songs, so I'm just like, I don't know. But the overall thing I take away is, like, the middle section there. Gotta scroll back to it. Yes, this part here. "You know that I'm sincere, you don't need to fear, I'm not like the others." And then there's a, like, hold on, "I'll be like a brother." Like, hold on, I don't want to be like a brother to my girlfriend or whatever. That's kind of odd word choice, but I think I get what he means. He's saying, like, I want to protect you, which is literally the next line. Never disrespect you. And then Aiden's favorite, "If you need love, I'll be there to sex you." That is a bizarre way of saying it. I think he's trying to, like, kind of be satirical towards people like maybe Justin Timberlake or even Boys to Men from the 90s. They have this song like, I'll make love to you if you want me to. And it's just like, okay, if it's consensual, I'll do it. Like, you know, I don't know. I think there might be a little bit of satirical nature in some of the lyrics in this one.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't be
agree.
surprised.
What's that?
I wouldn't be surprised if there is, given who it is and their track
exactly.
record.
The chorus is amazing. We have the word
Necrophilia.
angel in there again. And that's a bit of a theme, right, in this album. Like, I think anytime he references a female, he's referring to her as an angel. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
In the
I don't
album?
think there's even any
I think so.
exceptions.
Well, not on the
Well, except
deluxe
maybe the
album.
guardian angel. There must be a guardian angel on
Oh,
Troublemaker.
yes.
But other than that, any other time he says angel, he's referring to a girl. So yeah, this is one of the ones I really do enjoy, with the exception of those undertones of like, so how old is this girl that you're talking to? And I get the impression that he's in a grocery store parking lot, right? Because he sees the groceries spilling out of her bag and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's that thing of like, my favorite actor, Jim Carrey, has a line in one of his movies, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where he says, "Why do I fall in love with every woman who shows me the least bit of attention?" And I think of that during the opening of this song, because I'm like, he's just sitting in a grocery store parking lot, and he sees this girl spill her groceries, and he's like, "Ooh, I'm in love with her." Like, it's just like, okay, that's out of absolute nowhere. But it's interesting. It's interesting. It makes me think of that type of thought. Maybe it's a desperation thing, and he's desperate to show that all he wants is true love, and I can relate to that too. So that's that on that song.
Amen.
Well, I am scared for River's children.
Yeah, right.
But this song is automatically weird.
Automatic, yeah. So if you guys didn't know, this one is sung by Pat
Oh, I know.
and written. And he actually has a band called The Special Goodness. They have 2 albums. So if you like the song Automatic, you will probably like The Special Goodness. I like most of the songs. I recently listened through both albums. And it's pretty good. I think it's a cool song. I don't know what he's singing about. Like, I don't really get what the song's about. But the song definitely shreds. Like, it's pretty uppity. It's pretty rocky. And this is the one that has the best solo on the album. I feel like this album is really... It doesn't really have a lot of solos, which is something I really appreciate in a lot of Weezer songs, is their amazing solos. This one doesn't have a lot, and the only one that's really noteworthy as far as solos go is this song. So, great job, Pat. Steven?
I did not like this one either. Mostly because of the lyrics. I felt like the song was about sex, which he does mention sex quite a few times on this album, so it doesn't surprise me. I could be wrong, but that's how I felt about it. If it's not about that, then I'm with Aiden. I have no idea what it is about. So, that's kind of the working theory right now. Musically, it's not bad. It's pretty good. But like, again, kind of like with Dreamin', it's like I there's no reason why I would put the song on to listen to it. It doesn't appeal to me significantly enough for me to add it to any of my playlists or anything. It's just forgettable, I guess.
I think everybody can automatically know my thoughts for this, so I'm just going to let Spencer speak.
Really, you have that little to say?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, take it away, Spencer.
I was right. It is forgettable.
Which
You
song?
sure you don't want to take a turn on that one?
Nope.
Okay. All right. No worries. I just wanted to give you a fair shot there. I would agree. I'm pretty sure this is a metaphor for sex, especially on the lyric, I got some, but I want to feel it every hour because I want to give it to you. Like, that's pretty overtly sexual, I believe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, musically, it's cool. I'd say this is my second least favorite song. It doesn't mean I dislike it by any means, but I actually didn't know it was Pat on the lyrics. It sounds more like Rivers to me than Thought I Knew.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it does. They do have very similar voices, and like even listening to The Special Goodness, it sounds like more Weezer.
Interesting.
It sounds very
Yeah.
Weezery, and like I think there a large part of that is Pat does so much backing vocals on all of their albums
You're
that
used to it.
that him and Rivers, their voices go so good together. So it's almost like you're only hearing part of Rivers' voice, but it still feels rivery. It still flows.
Yeah. This is a song I might put on like maybe during a workout or something like that. But yeah, if it was instrumental, I'd almost like it even more. And I'm not against songs that are about sexual things. I don't think that's that doesn't bother me by any means. But I just kind of go, it's not always necessary. But yeah, this is one of those songs where I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much a "Will you please doink me" song, but I still think it kind of slaps musically.
It does. It does slap. It's a little bit ruined
Yeah.
for me now, but all right. The Angel and the One, the final song, the finisher.
Are you the one?
No, are you the angel?
Maybe.
I doubt it. So I love the intro to this song. So much so that I wanted to learn it, and it's incredibly difficult. I have never stretched my index finger and pinky so far apart from each other on a guitar neck before. Like, it's ridiculous, but it's worth it. And it's so musically beautiful. And the lyrics, even though they're kind of beautiful, but they're also kind of like odd. But overall, I think he kind of sums up towards the end of it what I was saying earlier about his newfound confidence, and that he's saying like that he's complete, and he's singing about his purple majesty, whatever, and this peace, and then how he says peace, shalom, over and over at the end of the song. But yeah, like the build up just through the entire song is just, it's splendid. I really have an appreciation for this one. I wouldn't say it's one of my like top 3 favorites, but I really like it a lot. Steven?
This song is very poetic, and it's very slow. The first time I heard it, I liked it, and then the second time I didn't. So maybe if I listen to it again, I will like it again. I don't know. So I guess I'll just say what's consistent about it that I found. I like the lyrics because, like I said, it's very poetic, and it's about like accepting that someone that he's romantically interested, he's never going to be with, probably because she's not into him. Maybe she's a lesbian.
Classic scenario for Rivers.
Yeah, who knows? It's just, or maybe because he's already married at this point. So, maybe he found someone else that he liked, but realized that it was too late. But in any case, that's the theme of the song. Someone that he wants to be with, that he's not going to be with. And it's just like really slow. The words are very like mysterious and poetic. So I guess it depends on your mood. It depends on my mood anyways, whether I like the song or not. But yeah, it's a nice slow song. Like it doesn't sound bad at all. It sounds good. But it is very slow. So I did get bored, because I was not in the mood for a slow song and I was falling asleep. But if you're in the mood for a slow song, this is definitely a good one.
This is the one for you.
It's the Angel and the One.
Caleb?
I'm curious. Is River's dad Christian at this point yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I'm wondering, because there are certain things in his songs where like shalom, kumbaya, and I'm thinking
He doesn't say kumbaya, does
yeah. Hey. What is that song? Do 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 do.
I think you're thinking of a song from a different album.
No, it's definitely Weezer.
It's no. It's from the White Album.
Oh,
it's much later.
Yeah. So, I just thought that was very interesting. Finally, River's nice voice. It actually makes you appreciate it more when it's someone else singing. Love his voice, obviously. I feel like Weezer, for the lyrics, side B isn't as good. I feel like it's weaker and there's less lyrics for most of Weezer's albums. Most of Weezer's albums, side B always has less lyrics and weaker lyrics, which disappoints me a lot. And it has this for this too. So that's one thing I don't like. I just wanted to say, when I heard this song, my first thoughts were, this explains Long Chair. But obviously it doesn't.
The frick?
It doesn't, but if it was, then it would be a lot better.
Oh.
That's very confusing.
That is
Yeah.
very
Could
confusing.
you
Well,
elaborate?
I can no. I kind of understand because it's like angels talking to each other at the beginning. But I think it's a different angel, Caleb.
I know, but I think it'd be great if instead of Long Chair, only certain people understand what I mean. Anyways, okay.
Spencer, what are your thoughts on the angel and the one?
Understand what he's talking about there. Not in this song. I didn't connect with the last thing that was talked about.
Oh, it's just he's referencing the first song off of their summer album from the Season series.
Okay, gotcha. That's out of chronological order, but that's this is a very good album closer, in my opinion. There's a couple things I want to say about this one. I'll start with the opening line. It's not my destiny to be the one that you will lay with. Been there. 7 times, to be exact.
Wow.
It's interesting to me how, for my personal experience listening to a lot of Weezer specific songs, I'll identify with a line and then maybe not the next line at all. And then the third line, I come right back into it. And I'm like, oh, I totally relate to that. Like, there's so many reasons why I have to go but want to stay here. I've had that when I've been in, like, abusive relationships, like just mentally abusive relationships where I'm like, oh, I really want this to work out. There's so many reasons why I should let this come to a conclusion and not be in this relationship, but I want to make it work. So that's how I feel when I hear that line. I might have to be extremely transparent on this one part when he says, you are the angel and I am the one who is praying. A lot of the times when I am single, I do have a desire to be in a relationship because I do love in general. I love to feel love. I love to give love to other people. And when it's somebody special, that, it's all the more, to be redundant, special.
Yeah.
And so when I pray when I'm single, I do ask God to put the right person in my life and say, like, Lord, I want her to be brought into my life on your timing, and I want her to be the right person for me at that chapter in my life. So it's interesting to have that perspective again as a Christian, to go, yeah, I've definitely prayed for girls to enter my life, but for whatever reason, it's not my destiny to be the one that they will lay with, or whatever. Like, it's just kind of loose. So that's how I personally identify to the overall message of this. But I wanted to be the total music nerd, and this will be my last rant, I guess, because it's the last song. I sense a tremendous influence from Prince on this song, both lyrically and musically. I don't know if any of you guys, Aiden included, has listened to the song Purple Rain.
I have.
I have as well,
yes.
but I don't remember because it was a long time ago.
Okay, so that is from the album Purple Rain, which it's the final track on the Purple Rain album as well. And it doesn't sound like The Angel and the One, or rather, The Angel and the One doesn't sound like Purple Rain, but the body of the song kind of flows the same way. Now, the song Purple Rain, in short, is about Prince singing to a girl as he's literally being raptured. Like, he's ascending to heaven, and he's saying, I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted one time to see you laughing. I only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain is how it mentions in the Bible during the end times, or whatever, during the rapture, God's blood raining down from the sky. And, well, the sky is blue and blood is red. And when you mix those two colors, you get purple. So that's hence purple rain. And he's saying to her, I only wanted to see you bathing and laughing in the purple rain. So the message of Purple Rain is, I tried to witness to you as a Christian, and you weren't interested. You didn't want to accept Christ. You didn't want to be a Christian whatsoever. So now I'm going up to heaven and you're not. And I have wept listening to Purple Rain before. And we've got the line in Angel and the One, I'm flying up so high, my purple majesty displaying. I've reached a higher place that no one else can make a claim in. That to me feels like he's going, y'all, this is inspired by Purple Rain. It just really, really rings that to me. And if I would encourage anybody listening to this, as well as you guys, to re-listen to Purple Rain, just the song Purple Rain, and even the slow, like, very beautiful, but it almost sounds like the song is coming to a crash landing ever so slightly. You know what I mean? Both Purple Rain and the Angel and the One do that. So that's just my take on it. I love Prince very much. Probably just as much as I love Weezer in very different ways. But I hear the inspiration from that specific song on this one. That's why I think it's a gorgeous way to conclude the album. Okay. So those are my thoughts on that one.
All right, so now is the part where we just give our opinion and our star rating from 1 to 5. So what I have written down for this is, it's not sad. At least overall, it's a pretty straightforward album. Not much of it isn't open to interpretation, like a few of the songs are, but overall it's pretty straightforward. It's solid musically, very solid, and overall lyrically is most of the songs amazing lyrically, and the ones that aren't amazing lyrically are, for the most part, quite good. So I give this album a 4 out of 5. Steven?
This album, it's not bad, but to me it's really not that good. It is better than Maladroit, definitely, in my opinion. It has Pork and Beans is a really great song, and some other songs on there, like Troublemaker, Everybody Get Dangerous, they're great songs. But I'd say at least half the songs are forgettable to me, and like I wouldn't really want to listen to them again necessarily. Not that I would mind it, but like I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to them again. So overall, I say maybe I'd give this album a 2.8 out of 5.
Okay.
I know I'm bringing this up again, but Maladroid has Happy Vibes, and then Make Believe pumps it up more. And then this song's like, I finally have what I've been trying to do. I finally succeeded. I finally gotten a girl. I finally have children, and
he doesn't have kids yet.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that. I didn't know. And I finally have a good career, or a decent career at least. So that's one thing I love about this album too. It shows that that he's happy where he is and that where he succeeded. This album is better for the vocals, especially comparing to the other albums. It's probably I feel like a Make Believe is a little bit better for vocals, but I feel like this is still really good for vocals.
Yeah.
So far, there's not any song particularly that I hate. Like, some of them are decent, some of them are really good. And yeah, I'd give it probably a 3.9. And yeah.
Pretty solid. Spencer?
Yeah, I feel personally attacked. No, I'm just kidding.
My apologies.
Oh, you're killing me.
Just playing. Well, as I said, my kind of spiel off the top on side A there, before we got into Troublemaker, if it wasn't for this album, I don't think a lot of my interest in music in general would have continued in the way that it did, especially with the song Heart Songs and stuff like that. By the way, some of the listeners might be scratching their heads or eager with anticipation, or either that or I'm just hoping they are. When it comes to my top 10 songs, 3 of the songs from this album are in my top 10 songs of all time, keeping in mind that Heart Songs was number 11. So it's almost half the album is in my top 10 songs of all time. That might seem excessive, but hey, like I said, it feels like the album was written about me. I do think it's Weezer's best album, but that's again based on my personal experiences and the things that it makes me feel and the ways that I'm able to relate to it. My second favorite Weezer album is the next one you're going to be listening to is Ratitude, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I love the songs on that. I wish I could join you guys for that one, but I'm sure you've already got another guest lined up. But this for me is literally my favorite album of all time. So it's a 5 out of 5 from old Higgy G over here.
Have you listened to all the Weezer albums?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're over there going, you're insane.
No, everybody's entitled to their opinion. As long as you don't think Green is the best, honestly, I respect it. And having 3 of the songs from this in your top 10, that's 3 Weezer songs right there in a pretty good standing. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you, Spencer, for joining us for this episode.
This was great.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been
WEEZCAST.
We will be back next week with Ratitude.
See ya.